Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a quick look at my updated everyday carry for fall 2023. Everyday carry, of course, is all the items that I typically have in my pockets and the things that I, feel that are nice to have so that I can be prepared for whatever the day throws at me. And I always love doing these types of videos as it gives me an excuse to try out gear that I don't necessarily need. Most of the EDC gear that I featured in previous videos is still in great shapes, but as a gear enthusiast, I'm always on the lookout for fun new gear to share here on the channel. Also, heading into the fall, I was excited to try out some olive colored accessories because I've been looking at a lot of olive bags recently, and so I just thought I'd mix it up as opposed to having the fully blacked out setup. But hopefully some cool gear here for everybody to check out. Before jumping in, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love everything popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. First up, we have the wallet. And this is one of those things that I always have with me as I still need to have my ID, a variety of cards, some cash, and I've been really impressed with how much innovation there's been in the wallet category over the past couple of years. I've tried out a bunch of different types, and the one that I've been using most recently is this option from Reform. I've seen this in a few different YouTuber videos and had been very curious to check it out. First of all, because it uses magnets, which I am a huge fan of. That's how it's secured. And then it also has this very kind of futuristic feeling durable rubber exterior, which is meant to handle a variety of temperatures and situations, environments very comfortably. It feels like it's a wallet that's going to be with you for a long, long time to come. I really like that it's just a sleek, sort of minimal modern wallet. It's not quite as straightforward as some of the card holders that I've used from companies such as Bellroy. This one is not quite a bifold, but not quite a card holder. It opens up flat. It's got a few different slots. So on the front, you have a quick access area. This is where I would typically have my ID and my frequently used card. You can hold a couple in each of the slots. And then it's secured with those wallets, as I mentioned. And even when it's closed and it has stuff in it, it never really feels overly bulky. It's still a great size for front or back pocket carry. I've been carrying this one in my front pocket. And then on the inside, you have couple of different slots. There are two models of this wallet. I was sent both of them to test out. One of them has some additional slots on the inside. They both have the same quick access pocket on the outside, but one of them actually has kind of a coin pouch, which is becoming more and more rare these days. I'm a big fan of this, particularly when traveling, as when I pay in cash when I'm abroad, I still tend to get a good amount of coins and I never really have a great spot to put them. So this is super useful, very secure sort of closure here, and then you can toss your coins in. I also like having this type of pocket as it's an area that can hold a key, something like a smaller multi-tool, and secure that well. So I feel like it adds a nice amount of versatility to the wallet. You could also toss cash in there if you want. When I'm going about my day-to-day at home, I've been using the other version of the wallet that doesn't have that coin pouch, as I do prefer to have the extra slots on the inside. So you have one that has my ID, insurance card, credit card, and then the other side I have an additional kind of backup card as well as some cash. And the slots hold the cards securely. I don't feel like anything is going to fall out. And it doesn't overdo it. It doesn't have a ton of crazy features, but what it does really well. It's a very durable wallet. The magnets work fantastically. I really like that you have the two different alternatives depending on what you need to carry with you. And if you're looking for a sleek, durable wallet that's going to give you some nice flexibility, then these are going to be fantastic options to check out from Reform. Up next, we have the flashlight that I've been using as of late, which is from Ravivon. I've featured another one of their flashlights in a couple of my more recent videos. I've been really impressed with this brand in general and just how bright their flashlights manage to get. I've looked at them accidentally a couple of times and I can see why flashlights are a good self-defense option, because I've pretty much blinded myself. And I really like the form factor of this one in particular, as it's got kind of this flat design which fits nicely into a pocket. It's a little bit larger, very easy to grip. It's got a couple of action buttons on the front so that you can turn it on and activate the various modes, so that's always a really nice benefit. It includes a reversible and removable clip, which I'm always a fan of, so that I could attach it to my hats. to do a makeshift sort of headlamp. If I don't have my headlamp with me, you can attach this onto a keychain. And it's a really small, light flashlight. And as with the other Robivon flashlight that I checked out, I like that this one can be charged via USB-C. But one of the coolest things is that you can also pair this with a AAA battery. So you have two power sources depending on, if you run out of battery, you have that as a backup, you can swap it out. So just really fantastic if this is a critical item, which it is for me, whether I'm traveling or on my day-to-day. It also comes in at a pretty reasonable price. I love the olive color that it has here, and so if you're looking for a very bright, flexible, and affordable flashlight, this is going to be a fantastic option to consider. Pocket knives is another one of those items which I have accumulated way more than I ever thought I would in my life, and I still mostly use them to open up Amazon boxes, but there's something about them that I absolutely love. And I'm a big fan of the James brand. I featured the Carter XL on the channel a couple of times. It's one of my favorite, more kind of simple looking knives. I love the mechanism on that. It's just very easy to open. The lock is very reliable. That is a little bit of a larger knife. And so I've been curious to try out the Ellis pocket knife for a while because it reminds me of some of the Swiss Army knives that I would use in the past when I was growing up. That was kind of a big milestone for me, was to get a Swiss Army knife, and so this feels like the sleeker professional version of that. Got a little bit of a smaller form factor, fits very easily into a pocket. One of the things that I love most over my Swiss Army knives is that it has a deep carry pocket clip. So that's very useful to just make it easy to reach and not have it just floating around in my pocket. And then, you have just a very simple opening. One thing about this compared to some of the other pocket knives that I've featured is that it doesn't have one-handed opening, which can be a little bit annoying, but I know that for some places, the laws dictate that you can't open the knives too quickly and certain lengths, and so that's another thing. This is more compact than some of the pocket knives that I typically carry, but it still offers a nice amount of functionality. It's offered in a serrated option and a non-serrated. I don't have a ton of serrated blades, so I thought it would be cool to have this for a little bit more flexibility if I'm cutting some rope or a branch or something like that, and then you still have the sharp blade. And it's very secure, easy to open, it works smooth. And then in addition to that, you also have a pair of scissors, which is another thing that I use quite regularly. And I love that I have an additional pair of reliable scissors that's pretty small. They're sharp, and that means I don't have to use the knife for tasks where scissors might make more sense. So that's one of the things that I really liked about this, is that it provides both of those options. And then at the top, James brand also often includes this sort of scraper tool with some of their items. So I was very happy to see that here, as it can work for scraping and also as a flathead screwdriver. So just incorporating a nice amount of functionality without having it feel like a very tactical or technical knife. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but if you're a fan of the James brand, or if you're just looking for something sleek with a little bit of additional functionality, then so far this has been a really great option. Next up, we have a pocket pen. This is something that I have come to appreciate more and more over the years, how nice it is to have on you, particularly while traveling if you're filling out customs documents. But anywhere I go, there's still times where I have to sign stuff if I'm depositing a check at the bank. It's particularly in a post-COVID world, really nice to have your own pen so you don't have to worry about cleaning it or anything like that. And I really love how many smaller form factor pens are available nowadays. The Fisher Space Pen, of course, to me is still kind of the gold standard. But I was curious to check out something else, particularly in this olive colorway that I've been exploring for this overall setup. So this one is from Write in the Rain, and I know they're really famous for their notebooks, and so I was excited to see that they also have pocket pens. You can get a pack of 2 for about $12 or $13, so they're fairly affordable. It doesn't feel quite as sturdy as a Fisher Space Pen. It's got a plastic body, which I was a little bit surprised by, which might be nice if you're looking for something super, super light. It does feel a little less hefty. And it's got a really interesting system here. You pull out one side and then you can attach it similar to the Space Pen, so it gives you a more full-size writing utensil. It's been comfortable to use. The ink flows very smoothly. I haven't run into any issues. And so just a reliable, simple pen from a reliable brand. Also, because it's got kind of this plastic and it comes in a 2-pack, I am not quite as worried about potentially losing it if I let somebody borrow it when I'm out and about. So, so far it's worked well. I still think that I slightly prefer the kind of metallic feel of the Space Pen, but if you're looking for something lightweight, simple, that still offers a lot of the same benefits and is gonna fit very comfortably into a smaller pocket, then these options from Ride in the Rain might be worth checking out. Keychains are another area where there's been a lot of innovation. As of late, there's some really cool options from Bellroy, Orbit Key, KeySmart. I, however, continue to come back, and if you've seen some of my recent EDC videos, this won't be a surprise, to this Nite Ize doohickey option. It just serves so many functions in such a small, simple, affordable package. It's got a carabiner, which is an important thing for me with keys so that I could hook it onto my belt loop or somewhere into my bag. It's also small enough that if I don't hook it anywhere and I just put it in a pocket, it doesn't take up a ton of space. Then you have, the flathead screwdriver. You have a sharp edge that will allow you to open up boxes. Bottle opener, which I use all the time. You have a small ruler reference here, which has come in handy a surprising amount of times. And so, it's an affordable, I think it comes in at like $8 or $9. It's super cheap. It's been very reliable. I've been using the same one for a couple of years, and it still kind of gets the job done. So I've been on the lookout for something similar like this that might have some new features or that just feels sleeker. I know James Brand has a carabiner that I didn't think had quite as much functionality. It also looked bigger. So if there are other suggestions that you all think is a better alternative to this, let me know. But for now, I just continue to return to it and it gets the job done. A newer item that I've started to carry as of late is a Zippo lighter, which might feel strange, particularly since I am not a smoker, but I've found that this actually is probably the best fidget toy that I've used. In my most recent EDC video, I had the playing cards kind of magnetic fidget toy, and I found that this serves kind of a similar purpose, but it's a little bit smoother and easier to use, and then you also have the added benefits of having a source of fire if you need it. Now, I don't imagine that I'm going to be crash landing anywhere necessarily, but it's nice to have a lighter. It could be an interesting way to start a conversation. I thought about this after watching one of the Michael Easter videos that he did with Huckberry, where he talked about going into different environments and finding a way to break the ice. And so I thought that was kind of a cool idea, in addition to just being a very fun fidget toy. It's a little bit cooler than kind of your typical spinner and just has some extra functionality. It doesn't take up a ton of weight. It's fairly affordable, and Zippos are well known for lasting pretty much for life. So, if you're looking for just something to have with you, to fidget with, that can also serve some additional purposes, then definitely another alternative to consider adding to your carry. And then the last thing that I'll mention here is a pair of sunglasses, which are a critical part of my day-to-day. If I go outside without them, I'll get like an immediate headache. So I always like having a nice pair of sunglasses with me. I've used a bunch over the years. This is one of the ones that has continued to hold up really well. It's a pair of Ray-Bans that's got a little bit more of a retro vibe. I don't know if they're quite aviator style, but they do have that type of a shape and vibe, and so it's just kind of vintage. I like that they have this sort of brown color. I believe they're offered in a few different colors. And I have dropped and beat these up a ton over the years, and they continue to hold up well. They protect my eyes, and I think that they're fairly affordable. They include a hard shell carrying case, so Ray-Bans I'm always a fan of, and if you're looking for something kind of vintagey for the fall, then these may be a cool option to take a look at. And so that's it. That is my updated everyday carry setup for fall 2023. Hopefully this video was helpful or at least a little bit entertaining. And if you have any questions on the gear that I featured in the video or suggestions for similar items that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And if you're curious to see some of my previous EDC setups, I'll make sure to include links to the videos for those in the description below, as well as links to some of the roundup videos that I've done for my favorite travel and EDC gear of 2023. And if you have any ideas for other similar videos that I should check out, definitely let me know about those as well. And as always, I want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this particular video, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.